Hello my dear students, welcome to eShiksha Assam. This is Prarthana. How are you all? I hope all of you are doing your duties well at home, you are studying properly at home. Okay. I think so most of you have watched my first two videos on metals and non-metals, chapter 3 of class 10. If you have not watched, you can just go to the I button on the left hand side top. So there you will find the two videos there. In my first part of the metals and non-metals chapter, we have discussed about how does the metals and non-metals react and about the formation of electrovalent or ionic compounds. In my second video, we have discussed about the different properties, both physical and chemical, of the metals as well as non-metals. In today's class, we are going to learn about how these and where are these metals found, about the extraction of metals and so on. Okay, so let's start. In our day-to-day life, we use a number of things made up of metals. Like gold and silver are used to wear the ornaments. We use iron is found in making the gates or grills and so on. Okay, have you ever wondered from where are these metals obtained? Okay, these metals are obtained from the Earth's crust. Earth's crust means our Earth is divided into 3 layers. Okay, so if this is our Earth, okay, and our Earth is divided into 3 layers. This interior, this layer is called as the core. This part is called as the mantle and the outermost part is called as the crust. And the metals are actually found in the crust. Metals are found in the Earth's crust based on their reactivities in different forms. So, we have already learned about the activity series or reactivity series. So, once we will see that, this is the reactivity series of the elements. Here, the metals are placed based on their reactivity. Potassium is the highly reactive metal, whereas gold is the least reactive metal. Now, this potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum, these are highly reactive, okay, and these can be extracted by the process of electrolysis. So, we will discuss about it in my later part of this video, okay. Next, zinc, iron, lead and copper, these are moderately reactive and they are mainly found as oxides or sulfides or carbonates. That means these metals, since they are moderately reactive, so they can either react with oxygen to form oxide of that particular metal or react with carbon to form carbonate of that metal or as sulfides. So these elements either react with oxygen to form oxides or they can even form carbonates or sulfides. Alright, and it can be reduced by using carbon. Okay, so about that we are going to discuss it in detail in the later part of this video. Next is silver and gold. Silver and gold are least reactive, that is why they are found in the free state. Okay. Now, most of the metals are found as oxides. That is because oxygen is a highly reactive element. So, oxygen reacts with most of the metals. So, that is why the metals are found mainly in the oxide state. What is the difference between minerals and ores? Minerals are naturally occurring substances which are found in the Earth's crust, and the minerals are the substances from which we can obtain the metals. Okay. So, those minerals from which the metals can be extracted profitably are called as ores. So, the minerals may contain the metals in different proportions or in different amounts, but it will be profitable for us to extract the metals from those minerals in which the quantity of metal is the most, and those minerals where the amount of the metals is more are called as ores. That is, ores are minerals from which the metals can be extracted profitably. Okay. Now, for example, zinc blende is the ore of zinc and so on. So, like that, many other such type of ores are there. So, we will talk about it. Now, you see, based on the reactivity of the elements, there are different methods of extraction of the elements. Okay. So, now for example, potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum, these are highly reactive elements. So, for them, the process of extraction of metal is different. Whereas for the moderately reactive elements like zinc, iron, lead, copper and all, so the process is different. So we will learn about it in detail now. Again, the metals which are least reactive, they are found in the free state. So generally, in case of the least reactive elements, the metals can be obtained just by heating alone. Okay. Now sometimes they are found as sulfide ores, that is mixed with sulfur. So they are reduced by the process of roasting. Roasting is the process of heating in presence of abundant supply of oxygen. Okay. Next, then when the metal is obtained, then after that the next process is purification of the metal, which we will be discussing in the next part. Okay. Here, if you see, for example, HGS, which is cinnabar, it is what? It is an ore of mercury. So, this ore of mercury is heated in presence of oxygen. So, it is actually heated in presence of oxygen, and that is called as roasting. So, then we obtain mercuric oxide, and also sulfur dioxide comes out. Okay. Then, this mercuric oxide again gets heated up to form mercury, which is in the liquid state. In my previous video, we have discussed that mercury is the only metal which is liquid at room temperature. Then, and along with that, oxygen gas is also released. Now, we will see how does the moderately reactive elements react. Copper, which is found in the nature as C2S, so this can also be reduced by heating alone, and copper can be extracted from it. Okay, now let's see how can the metals be extracted in case of moderately reactive metals. The moderately reactive elements are normally found as carbonate ores or sulfide ores, and these carbonate ores or sulfide ores has to be converted into oxide of the metal. This process, there are two ways of converting the carbonate ores and the sulfide ores into the oxide of the metal, which are calcination and roasting. Carbonate ores are undergo the process of calcination, whereas sulfide ores undergo the process of roasting. Calcination is what? Calcination means heating in a limited supply of oxygen, whereas roasting means heating in abundant supply of oxygen. After this process, the carbonate ores or the sulfide ores, after calcination and roasting respectively, is converted into oxide of the metal. And this oxide of the metal is again further reduced to the metal, and then after that the metal, to obtain the pure metal, purification of the metal takes place. So we'll see some examples. This is the reaction of roasting here. This is ZnS, which is the sulfide ore of zinc. It is heated in presence of abundant supply of oxygen, and then gives rise to zinc oxide and sulfur dioxide. This process is called as roasting. On the other hand, if you see here, this is the carbonate ore of zinc, that is zinc carbonate. So it is heated in limited supply of oxygen. Then zinc oxide and carbon dioxide is formed. So after the oxide of the metal is formed, so it has to be reduced to the metal, and that reduction is done with the help of carbon. So zinc oxide is reduced by carbon to get metallic zinc metal, and carbon monoxide gas is released. So in case of highly reactive elements, sometimes we don't use the coke or the carbon to reduce it. In those highly reactive elements, out of the moderately reactive metals, displacement reaction can even be used to convert the oxide of the metal to pure metal. Highly reactive metals like sodium, magnesium, calcium and all, they cannot be reduced by heating with carbon alone. So in such kind of highly reactive elements or highly reactive metals, so electrolytic reduction process is used. So we will learn about it now in details. So there actually and also all these highly reactive elements have very high affinity for oxygen. Therefore also it cannot be simply reduced by heating alone with the help of carbon. Since the highly reactive metals cannot be reduced by carbon alone, so in such cases electrolytic reduction is used. So in electrolytic reduction, like in case of the metals like sodium, magnesium, calcium and all, these are obtained by the electrolysis of their molten chlorides. Okay. So what is electrolysis and what happens there, we will learn now. So metals are deposited at the cathode. Now what is cathode and anode, I will tell you, then we will start the electrolytic refining. So metals like copper, zinc, tin, all these things are refined electrolytically. So this is the picture of electrolytic refining of copper. So for this, what we need to take? For this we need to take two stripes of the metal. This is the pure stripe of the metal, which is called as the cathode, and this is the impure stripe of the metal, which is called as the anode. Why this is called as the cathode? Because this particular stripe is connected to the negative terminal of the battery, so this is called as the cathode, and this is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, so this is called as the anode. Okay, so this is the impure metal. Here this metal is there mixed with impurities, and this is the sheet of pure metal. All right, and here, so this is actually pure copper, and this is impure copper, that is copper metal mixed with impurities. Now what is this? This is the solution of copper sulfate. It is an electrolyte. It is the solution of copper sulfate. Why it is taken? So that electricity can pass through it. Alright. Now, when the key is put, when the switch is put on, then the electricity passes through this circuit. All right. Then what happens? Then from this particular anode, the copper ions dissociates itself and then they get dissolved in this electrolyte, that is copper sulfate. Then after some time, this copper sulfate, copper sulfate breaks down into Cu2 plus ions and SO4 2 minus ions. All right. Now, since this is the negative terminal of the, since this is negatively charged, okay, it is cathode and this is negatively charged, so these positively charged copper ions will get attracted towards it, and this will go and then it will go and attach itself in the cathode. Okay. In due course of time, what will happen? More and more amount of pure copper ions will go and then get deposited on this cathode, as a result of which this cathode will become thicker and thicker, and this one will become thinner and thinner as the copper ion gets dissociated from it. Okay. And after some time, you will see here deposition of certain impurities. This is called as the anode mud. Okay. So these are the impurities. Impurities settle down at the bottom. Since the impurities have no charge, so they cannot be attracted to them. Alright. So this is the electrolytic refining of copper. Okay. Here I would like to say one thing. Students often have confusion between cation anion and cathode anode. Okay. Cation and anion, what we have learned about it. Okay. In my previous video only of metals and non-metals you have learned. So if you have not gone through it, just go through it once. Okay. So when the ions loses electrons, it becomes positively charged. So the positively charged ions is called as cation and the negatively charged ions are called as anions. Alright. But here the negatively charged electrode is called as the cathode and positively charged electrode is called as the anode. Okay. Just keep that in mind. It is opposite to that of cation and anion. Okay. Students often make mistake here. So I am just telling you so that you don't make any mistakes. So cations are positively charged ions. Anions are negatively charged ions, whereas cathode is the negatively charged electrode and anode is the positively charged electrode. So with this, we have come to the end of today's class. All of you please go through the chapter well, and also if you have not watched the previous videos on metals and non-metals part 1 and part 2, please go through it, and then if you have any doubt or any queries, just drop your doubts at the comment box below. And for the other subjects of the school curriculum like maths, English and other subjects, you can just check our channel. So you will find there. And if you have understood, then please don't forget to hit the like button so that I know that you all have understood. And you can subscribe to our channel for more content. Thank you.